And Congressman, you all are suing Nancy Pelosi for her proxy scheme. Can you explain what's going on with that, and what are the chances of you succeeding at this suit?
Well, number one, Nancy Pelosi has implemented a proxy scheme so that you can get 20 people on the floor and they could actually represent a quorum and do business without members of Congress being here. Look, that is historically, that's wrong. I mean, when they burned down the Capitol, Congress met. When they had the Spanish flu epidemic they killed almost 700,000 Americans 100 years ago, they met. When they were in the Civil War and there were battles all around the Capitol, Congress came in and met and did their business. But she doesn't want that because she gets power this way. So we filed the lawsuit yesterday, and you know what? We can change our rules, but you can't change the Constitution. The Constitution says we got to be here, we got to have a quorum, we got to meet, we got to vote, we got to count our votes, etc. And I think we've got a good shot. I really do think we have a good shot here to get something done on this.
You know, this is kind of weird. It's kind of disturbing, Congressman. I mean, you have a bunch of Democrats basically giving their vote over to Nancy Pelosi. Here you go, Nancy, do whatever you want. And we know what their agenda is. But instead of her trying to, rally her troops, to get behind the bills that they're trying to pass, basically she becomes like a one-man army. That's kind of crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's right. It gives her a lot more power in the center. And look, think of it this way. If you have to get 218 votes, then she's got to make sure that she and her whip team kind of lobbies 218. But if she only has 20, 40, 50 people that are coming in, it's a whole heck of a lot easier to kind of corral those people, and then they're going to do this work. It's just a kind of a way to give her more power, and that's ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. I will be keeping an eye on that. I hope you're successful in that. Congressman Biggs, yesterday you tweeted about the president's understanding about FISA abuses. And based on what we are hearing coming from the D&I, we might know the full scale of those abuses soon. Is there any hope the FISA court might go away anytime soon?
Oh, golly, I wish there were. I've got a bill that does that very thing. And what people need to understand is if you and I are going to be spied on by a law enforcement agency domestically, they got to go to a court. They've got to go get their search warrant or their warrant to wiretap, et cetera. Well, in the FISA court, it's all done secretly, and the standards are not the same, so you don't get the same due process. There's not the same transparency. There's not the same remedies. And so it should go away. That's what my bill would do, treat it like any other court that an American citizen is going to be looked at by police officers. But not here. So the president's on our side, and he's indicating that he might veto it, and I'm going to tell him, yeah, if it comes out and passes, please veto this dog. This dog should not be hunting.
Congressman Andy Biggs is in the center ring of the conservative circus. Congressman, I want to talk to you just a little bit about the CDC and Dr. Fauci. The more we
you don't have time for us to say everything that needs to be said.
The more, kudos to you, because you've been like pushing back hard against these two institutions, Fauci and the CDC. But the more we get, we hear our own governor talking about the guidelines from the CDC, talking about Dr. Fauci, and the reality is they've been so wrong on so many things. It's bad here in the great state of Arizona, but I imagine working and trying to do business out in D.C. Where they're even more under these rules and under the influence of these institutions, it's got to be kind of sickening.
Yeah, it's sickening out here. I mean, the other day, my chief sent me a picture of 6 police cars patrolling a park to make sure nobody was walking in the park. And this is absurd. But look, these guys have been wrong on their models. They've been wrong about the lockdowns. They've been wrong about distance the particles travel in the air. They've been wrong about the transmission of the virus from asymptomatic people. They've been wrong about the spread of the virus on surface. In fact, the hilarious thing is they 2 days ago they said, oh, yeah, it turns out that the virus doesn't stay on surface for very long. And then yesterday they come back and said, oh, wait a second, we were wrong on that. They've been wrong about the infection fatality rate by at least 10, maybe 20-fold. They've been wrong about the dangers of the virus to children and young adults. They've been wrong about the use of face masks. I mean, I can go back and give you the CDC said don't wear a face mask. Surgeon General said don't wear a face mask. Fauci said don't wear a face mask. Now it's like wear a face mask. The reality is there's only one face mask that works. There's studies done on this. There's only one face mask that works, and that's the ND95. And no other face mask works. You should be wearing it if you're sick. They've been wrong on virtually everything. And you know what? We've got officials all over the country that have relied on them, and I just think these people should have less credibility than the left stream media. But for some reason, we keep saying, "Oh, okay, well, let's do what they say this week. Let's do what they say today." It's just been one of the most frustrating things to me to watch us emasculate our economy, take away our rights. We've, instead of protecting the senior citizens that we knew were most vulnerable, we actually put them in more risk and more jeopardy. Places like New York City following ostensibly, now they're claiming they're following CDC guidelines. I've got to check into that more. But the bottom line is these guys have been wrong on virtually everything.